So, hello everyone, this is a new day in my life. This is a new video. First video I do in this day, and it's the end actually of this day. And this day was pretty successful. Was a pretty successful and pretty hardy. I approximately of 21 hours without any sleeping, just too much. Maybe less. For right now, I just plan to go for sleep without, eat something really big because, I think it's not really good for my body. And, after I just try to go for sleep and it's hurt about, and it's actually distribute of my quality sleeping. So yeah, what I just did in this day, I just work out in the morning, and after it I took a rest about 1 hour, something like that, and after it I actually started to work about my project. um, and actually it was pretty hardy, but I succeed to finish after the time that I put for myself. But actually, the main point about this thing, the main the big thing was when I worked about my project is a really high distribution of my brain that actually connect with my father, that was in the you know I don't really know how I can say this word, but it was you know in analyze, yeah. um so he just wrote that he got into for the room of the analyze in the several hours before I just started to work on my project. um, and after 6 hours, something like that, I tried to call for him. And when he just didn't really answer, I didn't know what happened because I just live in a really different region. And you know I just don't know what happened with him, yeah. um, and death actually never scare me. I can't say never, but you know in this time I pretty cold about this thing, uh, especially because I know the situation and I know you know what he do. And you know I know how quickly you actually can get a death um, in the hospital. And there is just a really small mistake that actually somebody do, and there is nobody that you actually can blame or can, I don't fucking know. Um, and you know actually how quickly it is, and you know how actually how you know how it's silent. And you know, when I just continued to work about my project, um, you know, after he just didn't really answer, um, I just absolutely simultaneously when I work about my project, and yeah, I just didn't, you know, give up about this project and, you know, leave this topic and maybe just, you know, move for other option or for other, you know, issue, because I pretty wanted to continue my way, because I know that, um, you know, when it will be really hopeful, you know, messages, I know that awful news, yeah, um, I know that the one thing, because, you know, our brain actually work about, you know, a different thing that you actually, you know, a different thing than we just, you know, think, yeah. um and I know very well that if it will be this badly news that I just, you know, think about right now, um when I will uh finish the thing that I want about my project, and my brain will be satisfied, or, you know, all the thing that I just wanted, um you know, despite all the really badly news, I will feel that I'm in a controlling, okay? And this is pretty important feeling that I just need, because our brain, you know that it's a badly news, but, you know, if you just stressful and uncontrolling and you get the badly news, you will be a pretty, you know, more badly about this thing, and you will take it in a really more, you know, awful way, okay? So I just continued when my brain just simultaneously ran about, you know, what if this will happen, or what if this will happen, or, you know, everything like that. And, you know, um it was a really hardy time for me to get the concentration about my project, and, you know, in generally actually to just, you know, continue on my way. But, you know, the one thing that I just understood in this time, when I just also, you know, plan what happen, what will be if this thing will happen, is, you know, is what actually will be with me after it, okay? And I just absolutely understand, that the main biggest actually awful thing about this thing is, you know, I actually can say this thing that I don't really have somebody else, okay? So, you know, I don't really talk about the deeply thing that with I. It's really harder for me because I didn't really took any break, you know, from the time that I just work about the second thing that I just did today. So I really fucking, you know, confusing right now, and it's really hard for me to talk clearly. But the main thing that I just try to clear here is, you know, I just absolutely understand that, you know, if he just go away and he just pass, okay, and so you know it's really fucking awful, and you know I don't really think that I have something to you know to say and to just put about this thing more, but when I just think about what will be with me after, so I just absolutely understand that I will get over about this thing very quickly, but you know, the main thing that actually will be with me, you know, it's the fact thing, okay? It's the real thing. It's not actually the memory or other actually pain. It's you know the real and you know the really general thing, okay? The really normal thing. You know, this is the the conversation that we actually do, you know, based on a day, yeah, on a daily. You know, it's actually somebody to talk about with a clearly way, and you know, it's something that it's. Sorry, it's actually something that you know I don't have a replacement about, yeah, and you know it's really awful. It's really awful, and I just know how it will be. You know, I will just come for a place that you know it will be, you know, a place that everybody actually, you know, read about and you know and miss about this person and everything like that, and you know everybody actually will come and blah 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 and blue blue blue, and you know after I will just come back and I will just lose something that actually you know pretty important for me, yeah, and I think you know it's absolutely more strong for me right now because you know when I just see, okay, my father just you know smokes so fucking much, and you know you don't really have something to do with that, and you see how much just you know hurt about him, you know all the time I just have fantasy that you know right now I just do pretty fucking a lot, and you know I just work as hard as I just can, and I just absolutely do the biggest change that I can do about somebody you know that I can you know that I can say in my age, yeah, and you know and eventually when it will be happen I will be you know with maybe you know somebody else that I can talk about with you know with a friend or you know with a I don't know, and I will actually be with money and I will actually be satisfied with the thing that I do, and I will just be on a basement, yeah, I will just be as something and I will be ready, okay, and you know I can't actually say will be ready because you probably actually will be fucking you know never ready for this thing, but you know according to my view that I just see this thing, yeah, um I just see this thing and you know I can't actually explain about this thing, but you know when I just saw this time that it will be, in my visualization and in my hoping, I absolutely want that it will be when I at least will be uh,